What's up, ladies and gentlemen? So today we're going to talk about the 5 best places to visit if you ever come and visit West Virginia's Northern Panhandle. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm the Best Virginian. I bring you West Virginia history and travel videos from right here in the Mountain State. If that's something that you like, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But today we are going to be talking about the 5 best places to visit next time you find yourself in West Virginia's Northern Panhandle. This isn't a definitive list. There are a lot of other places that I won't be mentioning today, definitely worth visiting, and this isn't really a weighted list. All these places are great for various reasons. It just depends on what your personal preferences are whenever you visit somewhere. But let's get right into it. First place we're going to talk about is the Grave Creek Mound and Grave Creek Mound Archeological Complex in Moundsville, West Virginia. Yes, the city of Moundsville is named after the giant prehistoric holy site, the giant burial mound located within Moundsville, West Virginia. It was built sometime between 150 and 250 BC. The Grave Creek Mound stands at over 69 feet tall, making it the second largest burial mound in the entire United States. Now, attached to the Grave Creek Mound is the Grave Creek Mound Archeological Complex and Museum. This museum has various exhibits covering about 12,000 years of West Virginia and Ohio Valley history. It has fossil casts, mound builder artifacts, and even collections of more modern artifacts from around the Ohio River Valley and modern-day West Virginia. If you find yourself in Moundsville, it's definitely worth visiting, definitely worth going to the site that gave the town its name, and that's our number 5 for top places to visit in the Northern Panhandle of West Virginia. At number 4, we have Oglebay Resort. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, the United States was going through a period of rapid industrialization. If you're from the eastern part of West Virginia, you're probably familiar with names like Davis and Elkins. If you're from north central West Virginia, you might be familiar with the Flemings. If you're from the kind of central and mid-Ohio Valley region, you might be familiar with the Rathbones, which I think is probably one of the greatest last names ever. But if you're from Wheeling, you're probably familiar with the Oglebays. In 1926, when industrialist and philanthropist Earl Oglebay passed away, he willed his Wheeling estate to the people of Wheeling for as long as they shall operate it for public recreation. In 1928, the Wheeling Parks Commission accepted this gift, and since then, Oglebay has been a recreational destination for people of West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and really the entire world. Probably most well known for its holiday season Festival of Lights, Oglebay also offers year-round recreational opportunities with museums, the good zoo, the gardens, walking paths, golf course, spa, resort, artisan shops, and the list just continues to go on and on and on. This makes it a perfect place to visit any time of the year and an ideal place for destination weddings. Like, seriously, every single time I go there, it seems like there's a wedding party walking around somewhere. I think at this point, I just need to start carrying a nice suit jacket around with me everywhere I go, because at least then when I run into a wedding, I might be able to get some free food. While sticking with Wheeling, West Virginia, we're going to talk about number 3 on our list, the Old Custom House, aka West Virginia's Independence Hall. If you've ever wondered how West Virginia became a state, or just ever wanted to visit a museum dedicated to making the state of Virginia even smaller, you should definitely check out West Virginia Independence Hall. It's never too late to make Virginia even smaller. In 1861, when Virginia decided it didn't want to be part of the Union anymore, a bunch of folks from the western counties of then Virginia met at the circuit courthouse at the Old Custom House to lay out the foundation for a state that would eventually become known as West Virginia. Today, the Old Custom House is a museum dedicated to all things early West Virginia, the Civil War, and just wheeling in general. Do you want to go to a museum where you'll get to see some cannons, rifles, swords, West Virginia battle flags, where West Virginia became a state, the vault where the money that was stolen that was supposed to be used for the construction of the Trans-Allegheny? Yeah, that bank heist I'm always talking about. The gold was actually stored at a vault in the Old Custom House in Wheeling. Again, it's a really great museum. They're constantly doing various events. They have a really good June 20th or West Virginia Day celebration every year. Someone who loves West Virginia, someone who loves West Virginia history, it was a surreal experience getting to visit this location. At number 2, we're going back to Moundsville. Obviously, you guys, if you know me, if you've been following the channel for a while, you probably knew that this had to be on the list. Right across from the Grave Creek Mound is the former West Virginia State Penitentiary. This facility was meant to be a state-of-the-art prison when construction first began in 1867. It was located in Moundsville because at the time the capital of West Virginia was still in Wheeling, and they wanted it in fairly close proximity to the state capital. Now, the penitentiary has been featured in numerous TV shows and movies such as Out of the Furnace and Castle Rock, and has pretty much appeared in practically every single paranormal and ghost hunting show ever made. It should come as no surprise that many people consider the building one of the most haunted structures in the world. Not the state, not the United States, the entire world. For this reason, it's a favorite overnight destination for paranormal researchers and ghost hunters alike. Or if a daytime visit is more your style, the 90-minute walking tours are a perfect opportunity to hear a mixture of tales from the weird, like an inmate who escaped by lathering himself up with butter, carving a hole in the wall, slipping through the hole in the wall, and digging underneath the foundation of the penitentiary to freedom, to the terrifying, like the inmate that was stabbed so many times that whenever he was being escorted to an ambulance, a guard gave him a cigarette he inhaled and smoke came out of his back, neck, and shoulders, to the absolutely adorable. Yes, I said adorable, like the inmate that found a bunch of duck eggs in the prison yard, converted his footlocker into a makeshift incubator, actually hatched the eggs, got in trouble on several different occasions for quacking at the night guards until one day a guard looked down and saw a baby duck walking up the prison floor, at which point the ducks were discovered, and if local legend is to be believed, supposedly the ducks were donated to the Oglebay Park Resort and Goods Zoo. While the Penitentiary Museum is constantly expanding and adding different exhibits, every single visit to the penitentiary will be different because every single tour guide has a different field of interest and expertise. Plus, they're trying to sum up nearly a century and a half of history into a 90-minute tour, which is practically impossible. Just, it's going to be different every single time you visit the penitentiary. So if you've never visited the former penitentiary before, I'd highly, highly recommend it. And even if you have and it's been a while, I would always recommend revisiting this one-of-a-kind tourist destination. And at number 1 on our list, of course, probably most of you could guess by now what it's going to be. Right outside of Moundsville, West Virginia, we are going to go to the Palace of Gold in New Veritable, West Virginia. Named after the Holy Land of Veritable, India, this Hindu pilgrimage site began its construction in the 1970s as a place for Swami Prabhupada to live and write in the rural hills of West Virginia. The community has been continuously growing since then, and it now has the main Palace of Gold, Rose Garden, vegetarian restaurants, cabins and lodging, cow sanctuary, and hiking trails. It's a really great place to visit. In the last year or so, they've been doing a number of renovations. They just got their new dome put into place on the Palace of Gold. It's absolutely beautiful. The rose gardens and really just the flowers across the entire area are very beautiful, along with the peacocks. Really, it's kind of a surreal experience going from Moundsville to New Veritable, and it's definitely an experience that you owe yourself to do and visit. And that's why it's #1 on the list of places that you should definitely visit next time you find yourself in West Virginia's Northern Panhandle. So I hope you learned something today about what all the Northern Panhandle has to offer. Again, this isn't all the places that you can visit in the Northern Panhandle. This is just 5 great example of very unique tourism destination. In case you're wondering, the Northern Panhandle is only about 170 miles from Cleveland, Ohio, 130 miles from Columbus, Ohio, and about 60 miles from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, meaning that it's within a tank of gas of many major cities, and definitely a place that if you have a weekend, if you have a long Saturday, you could definitely visit and see several of these locations in a single day. So if you learned anything new today, definitely hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and share this video. It helps me out tremendously, and I'm super appreciative for all of you who do that on a regular basis. But until next time, stay wild, stay wonderful. I'm the best Virginian, and I'll talk to you later.